You've acknowledged that the negative thought is there. The thought of self-sabotage is there. It's there. Thank you for coming. Now you need to redirect. Hi, I'm Kyla, a business coach, mentor, and I'm currently studying a degree in nutrition. I'm a mum of 2 and I live in Australia.
And I'm Emilia. I'm the author of the book It's Your Life and the founder of the fashion brand Emilia Ortmann. I'm originally from Germany but live in Dubai, and I'm a mum of 4.
In our raw and authentic episodes, we share with you all things business, motherhood, and holistic lifestyle,
as well as bringing you inspiring interviews with other entrepreneurs.
Welcome to the Mums in Biz podcast. Hey, welcome in to this week's episode of the Mums in Biz podcast. This week, it's me, it's Kyla. I'm bringing to you the Monday motivation session this week, and I can't wait to dive into this topic. But before we do that, I just wanted to make sure that you have caught up on the latest episodes that we have here, because we are up to the mid-70s now. I cannot believe it. Every episode I record and Emilia and I record, we're just so shocked at, how far we've come. Not just shocked, but proud. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to them. Please go back and have a listen. There's some incredible interviews with the amazing Kate Scudder, great business coach there. Emilia interviewed Laura Everest again, an incredibly motivational story, an inspirational story. Also, Emilia and I looked at our books, our must-reads for either the winter here, if you're here in Australia, or if you're going on summer break, if you're in the Middle East or in the Americas. So go back, dive into them and enjoy. But this week, I am bringing to you a topic that Emilia and I have discussed in episodes, but maybe just snippets of them, snippets in time during some episodes that we've done. And I really wanted to focus on this because this topic keeps on coming up and up and up all the time when I'm speaking with people on a daily basis, even with myself. And I'll give an example of that later in the episode. But the topic that I want to speak to you about is self-sabotaging behaviours and how you can really get a handle on it and a control over it, to be honest with you. So when I say a few of these questions, they may be questions that you've had or you've asked yourself, or other people have actually asked them to you also. They may trigger you. So do you ever catch yourself saying, why do I keep doing this? How does this keep happening to me? You may ask these questions when you feel trapped maybe in patterns that create problems in your life, and they keep you from achieving your goals. That is what self-sabotaging is. They are thoughts and behaviors and patterns that you have created. So although you want to obviously make changes and disrupt this pattern, somehow you end up keeping in the same place again and again. I mean, if this is sounding at all familiar, it is self-sabotage. Okay, so when we're looking at it, we're looking at these things that you're saying to yourself that prevent you from getting where you want to go. So why does this happen? Why do sometimes you find yourself in these, this sort of spinning wheel effect? Well, there are a few reasons. So what causes it is that it could be usually patterns that stem from childhood. So if you think back on your childhood and, how you were raised, who you were surrounded by, were they constantly negative? Were they constantly questioning themselves or yourselves, or maybe saying that you can't do this because of this reason? This is where in our early childhood stages, we really learn, and our behaviors and the way that we think, they're actually fully formed by around about 7 or 8 years of age, would you believe? And so it's so imperative, if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, maybe you hang around, your friends' children, it's so imperative that you are really mindful of what you say to them and the words that you actually use, because they take it with them throughout their childhood and into adulthood. So reflect back Reflect back. Were there some examples maybe that you remember your parents or guardians or people who you hung out with saying, and now that you say yourself, now being an adult? These are learned behaviors. Another one is a fear of failure. None of us want to fail. It is not our intention when we set out to do things in life, so set out to a career, family, whatever it might be, to fail in that. We are very big on this Mums and Biz podcast by really embracing failure and saying that, learning things, and the most powerful learnings come out of lessons that we've learned when we've failed at something. We can't have the fear of that. It keeps us from getting to where we want to go. So look at it. Is it the fear that's holding you back? Another one, which is key for me, and it comes up for me time and time again, and I've got really good at it in the last sort of 5 or so years, and because I've really been concentrating on it, and that is the need for control. So self-sabotaging behaviours can also develop from the need of having a control of a situation, because when you're in control, you feel safe, you feel strong, you feel ready to face anything that comes your way. So some types of, self-sabotaging behaviour, they provide this sense of control. But the thing is, they also can have a negative effect. They can also have an effect on creating procrastination in life. So because you want that control. So you might not let other people help you. You might not let other people in because you want to control a certain situation, because you want it done your way. Does this sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? Please, you're not alone. Don't ever think that you're alone. And I'm not here to sort of preach to you that you need to do this in a perfect fashion, but I would like to point out some ways that you can identify this behavior and maybe change it or create a redirection or a different pattern when you find yourself in this sort of state of a circle roundabout, chasing the wheel, chasing your tail, and this spinning sensation. Because I know I'm there, sometimes. I know a lot of people are there a lot of the times. And I just want to give you some tips that have helped me. So the first thing that has helped me is identifying when it's happening. So I did this quite early on, especially when it got really quite bad. I'm trying to think how long ago. It's got to be about 5 or 6 years ago now. I was in this behavior of, I had started consulting and I was freelancing and I was, working with a lot of clients, and these thoughts kept coming up. These thoughts of, am I doing this right? Are they even going to like me? Am I charging too much? Should I be doing it another way? Whatever it was so overwhelming. It can cause anxiety as well. But I would identify when this is happening. Now, it didn't just happen in my career. It happened in my personal life. It happens, it happens also in my family life as I parent as well, especially at the beginning. Now I'm a lot better, being into it. But I was identifying when this was happening. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, pop it in your phones, in your notes, and identify when these thought patterns are coming up. Now, if these are coming up on a daily basis, you'll be able to spot it straight away, because you'll be able to see how many times a day, how many times a week or a month this is happening. Maybe you're being triggered by outside people or situations that are happening. This is what you need to do. You need to identify when this is happening and the pattern. So once you've done this, the next stage is acknowledging that these thoughts are coming into your head or this behavior is happening for you to self-sabotage something. So the thing is, when you self-sabotage, each time you're doing it, you're getting further and further and further away from where you want to be. And especially if you're aiming for a goal, or if you're wanting to parent in a certain way, or you're wanting to build a business, whatever it might be, it's just preventing you from doing it. So you need to acknowledge that the thought has come in. You've acknowledged that the negative thought is there. The thought of self-sabotage is there. It's there. Thank you for coming. Now you need to redirect. Redirection is the key to shifting your mindset. So I'm not talking about ignoring it, because we're acknowledging it. So we've acknowledged it, acknowledged the thought or behavior. Now we're looking at redirection. And the first way that you can do this is cracking down on that last things first list. So if you have a goal and that's what you're procrastinating on, or the self-sabotaging behaviors are surrounding, looking at what you need to do to achieve that goal and attacking the last thing first is the key to achieving it and a key to stopping those self-sabotaging behaviors. I like to call it, and I do call it with the children, eat the frog. So, horrible term, but it works because it's doing the things that you don't want to do first, but they're usually the big things that get you to that goal and get you to achieving. And once you do that, once you start the momentum, the energy shifts and the motivation comes back, and you see a sense of achievement, you feel a sense of achievement from the inside, and those self-sabotaging thoughts will reduce. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So it's the redirection. Now, I always say recognizing that there's always going to be fear, and fear is often what keeps us stuck. It is. We're afraid. We're afraid of, reaching those amazing goals, being an amazing coach. Like, I used to think, of being that amazing business owner, being that, amazing consultant, whatever it is. The thing is, you need to, as we always say here on the Mums and Biz podcast, face it, accept it, acknowledge it, and then do it anyway. A huge thing that helps me combat that self-sabotaging thought is visualization. I talk about this a lot. There's a meditation, I think, around about episode 30. I'll try and put it in the show notes, but it's a great one to visualize your life and your business desire or your career desire. What do you want it to look like? Picture everything, the way it feels having your ideal day. What will it feel like to achieve that dream? It might be a fitness goal. It might be a health goal, whatever it might be. Visualize it. And what you also need to do, which is key to everything in life, is you need to practice acceptance. You have to practice acceptance and self-care within yourself, because we're all going to have these thoughts. They're not going to go away. You can't get rid of them. The thing is, you need a tool. You need a process to help you through those self-sabotaging thoughts and behaviors so they don't prevent you from achieving what you want to achieve. So be kind to yourself. Show yourself some love and some compassion that you will slip up, every now and again. For me, I think I was going to tell you about my example. I just slipped up last night. I was speaking with a friend of mine from the UK. I really want to do something that complements my health and fitness sort of area that I want to get into, especially with the nutrition. And I want to do another course. All these self-sabotaging thoughts came into my head of, how am I going to do it? I can't do it. I'm not, I'm busy enough. I'm not smart enough to do this. I shouldn't be, whatever. I mean, it just went on and on and on. My friend, who I'm very connected to over in the UK, she is, very spiritual in herself, but she caught me straight away. And I knew I was doing self-sabotaging, thoughts, but she caught me. She caught me in that stance of, Kyla, you preach something of acknowledging it there, accepting that it's there, and then releasing it and redirecting that energy into what you want to do. And with her just mirroring my information or my thought patterns back to me, because I've obviously told her that before, it just stops me in my tracks and helps me redirect. So if you need to talk about it, to get support, I'm here. You can always DM me. You can always touch base with me on Instagram, and all the in the show notes have all of our contact details. So feel free to touch base with either one of us if you need that support. But make sure you surround yourself with people who can support you and people who are also going after goals and dreams for themselves and for their lives. So I really, really hope this helped today. It's a huge topic, and maybe Amelia and I need to dive into it more, into a bigger podcast. But hopefully this has given you a little bit of direction today, a little bit of information that you can push forward with this week and help stop those self-sabotaging behaviors and thoughts, so it can help you dream big and achieve your big dreams in life. Until next time, bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Mums in Biz podcast.
If you loved it, please share it with your network and leave us a review.
If you would like to connect with us, please visit the Mums in Biz podcast Instagram page or check the description for our direct contact.
Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.